What's up, nerds? Welcome to Nintendo Pow Block for the week of April 12th, 2017. I'm one of your hosts, Corey Deering, and alongside me, as always, the Nintendo master himself, Edward Barnell.
I'm Princess Peach.
Ed, I'm very disappointed.
Why?
I thought we were going to have something exciting to talk about today, which we do. Don't get me wrong, we do, but we delayed the show purposefully because of the Bayonetta countdown. And it was super excited, and last week's show, we were speculating, we were getting excited for the possibility of Bayonetta 3.
Yes.
Turns out, Sega announced the PC port of Bayonetta 1 in 4K and 60 frames per second on PC.
Why?
So, they made this huge deal out of a 7-8-year-old game at this point. Like, for a PC release. Cool. Thanks, Sega. Never fails to disappoint. I'm just kidding. I love the Dreamcast. Please bring out something to Switch Dreamcast related. Thanks.
Sega's third party. If you want something Dreamcast related, get the Sonic Collection, the Sega Collection on 3DS.
No, what I really want is...
Oh my goodness, Choo Choo Rocket for Switch.
What I really want is like a Dreamcast kind of like a line for Switch, like Sonic Adventure, Sonic Adventure 2, Phantasy Star Online, Skies of Arcadia. I don't even care if they're the GameCube versions of those games. Like, that would be even better.
Yes.
That'd be even better because those games are superior in almost every way. Crazy Taxi, like those types of games on Switch. Can we just talk about that for a little bit? How amazing would that be when the Virtual Console finally comes to Switch and they put all these Sega, Dreamcast, GameCube games on there? Like, yes.
Do you know if Soul Calibur for Dreamcast is not on that eShop, it's going to be a problem. It literally would be a problem. Sega, if Sega really want to make some money, go ahead, Corey.
I was just saying, why don't they just put the GameCube version of Soul Calibur 2?
Because Soul Calibur 2, that's Namco. Yeah, that's good. But because Soul Calibur was the leading title on the Dreamcast, it would be good for people to go back and play that game. And 2 on the Switch, come on now. Like, if we're gonna put Dreamcast games on that mug, that is the top one that everybody's gonna want to play. I would want Street Fighter Third Strike on there because the version I played was Dreamcast and arcade. Well, that's more Capcom, but I'll be down for that.
Yeah.
Space Channel 5. People will want that.
Jet Ride Radio.
Yes. Oh, Jet Set Radio on a HD version of Jet Set Radio on Switch, or just even the Dreamcast one, and it looking beauty, so people can understand where the cell shading of graphics come from, where Wind Waker got its style from. Dude, yes.
Yeah. How? I mean, I really love my Dreamcast. Like, it was that and 64 all the way for me. I'm gonna be quite honest with you. I don't really care about like the PlayStation stuff up until like I liked my PS2 enough. Like, I liked Kingdom Hearts and Final Fantasy stuff, but I don't really care about like the PlayStation era games from Sony that much. I cared about my Dreamcast and I cared about my GameCube. And like, if you could just Yeah.
I mean,
that was my excitement.
And I would say $10 to $15 range for Dreamcast games, I would play. There's so many great titles that people would have not played, and who knows even about Japan, but they have over there that never came to the West. Like, if since there's no region lock, bam, bring it over here and let us play the Japanese version. Like, I would love to play this Capcom 2 or Power Stones again for Dreamcast for Switch. Can you see Power Stones on Switch at Evo? Dude, I would be so down for that. Literally down for that.
Yeah. And I think a lot of people really like the Dreamcast. I think Dreamcast is easily the most nostalgic system for Sega.
Yes.
Sega at
Well,
this
no,
point.
right.
So
And
like I really think that would be a smart move for them.
it would be money in the bank for it. And I would be like, look, if you guys who have so much love for the Dreamcast, if these games become available for Switch in its original format, yeah, you don't get the memory card thing. You don't get that. But playing these
I mean,
games
you
once
could. They could
again,
implement it in some sort of emulator, like within the game drive,
mhm,
like before, like you load up the game. Like even if it's a Dreamcast one, like you load up the thing and it pops up like the Dreamcast UI, and like you select the quote memory card, and like if you want to play the Sonic Adventure KL mini game on your Switch, like that's just built in.
well, yeah, but I'm talking about the VMU actually, the little thing that
Yeah, that's
you
what
used to
I'm
use for
talking
the memory.
about.
Yeah, or
That's what I'm talking about. They could emulate that. They could. Ed.
I'm here.
Oh,
Sorry, everybody. Google is acting up as usual.
yeah. We need to find a new solution for this. Uh, sorry. We use Google Hangouts, and as convenient as it is, it's better than Skype, but so is my toilet flushing when I need to send you a message. So,
Wow.
sorry. Too soon.
Nah.
Ah, jokes.
Yeah, but that's to me that literally is money in the bank for Sega. Be and just be like, here are 6 games for the virtual console, and even be like some of their lesser known games, like Virtual Fighter or something, release it as a free download for Game of the Month when Nintendo go online. And then if people want to buy it, hey, it's $9.99. And this goes into your My Nintendo account, so that you got the that you bought the game. Like I would be down for that.
Yeah, I mean, I would also be down for that. I would love. I actually was like, I was looking at a bunch of stuff because I think I'm gonna like start cleaning out some old stuff that I don't use anymore, that I don't really
Mhm.
care or have much, you know, love for anymore. And like I was looking at was my Saturn, and I'm like, man, this system was garbage. I can't believe I ever had one of these. And like the only game I ever played on it was Tomb Raider and like Daytona 500.
Well, if
And
you got the
it was
original,
just
look, if you got the original Panzer Dragoon on Saturn, keep it. Do not
nope.
let that go. Do not break.
I do not have it. I do have Knights though with the weird controller that it came with.
Controller.
So
I think
that's
that's
like the
worth some money too.
one thing I own. But like I don't really have any affinity for Knights, and my one friend wants to buy it off of me. So I mean, I'm probably just gonna sell my whole Saturn collection because he's really into vintage Sega stuff. Like
Yeah.
kind of how like he's as much into vintage Sega stuff as we are into Nintendo. It's his jam, man.
Oh,
Like
wow.
he has like old Dreamcast like demotions from GameStop, and like all these. I mean, you should just see it. It's awesome. His retro collection is like really
Bunkers.
cool, and I want it. Like, I
Crazy.
mean, if I was to get rid of it, it would be him because how well he takes care of stuff, and like he's into really preserving that stuff. So like,
Uh-huh.
yeah. So like he like take it off my hands for me, but like, yeah, yeah,
I remember the Saturn let you use some kind of memory card in the back in order
yeah,
for you to play Japanese games. That was
yeah.
so cool.
It's also to save games because like my I had to save Tomb Raider to that thing. So was stupid, but whatever. Memory cards. Good thing as a Nintendo fan, I only had to deal with that for one generation.
Yes.
Gosh. GameCube memory cards. Those things are funny.
I love them.
Ugh.
I didn't buy no third party.
I remember I had one gray one, and then they came out with the black ones, which were like super storage. But then they came out with the white ones, which were super storage. And I was like, what?
I always bought the black ones because they were cheap and always on sale. Like nobody was buying them. I was just like, yeah, let me come get that for $10. What? This is only for 14? Yeah, let me get that. Yeah, I think I got about 3 black memory cards.
I have 2 of the gray ones, 1 of the white ones, and 1 of the black ones.
Nice. And yes, everybody, we did jump off a topic for Platinum and Bayonetta because what else is there to report about that? They could have just announced.
It's just sad. They like had this huge moment to like make an important announcement. And that's what they wasted their marketing on. Like, no offense, but no wonder Sega is like in financial trouble all the time. Choose to waste their marketing on, and like I understand, like Bayonetta is like a cult thing, but like what PC gamer like? Are they trying to capitalize off the Nier success? Like, why is this happening now? It's just
probably that.
It's confusing me, but like a lot of people probably don't know that Bayonetta and Nier were from the same studio. Like, I don't know.
Yeah.
It's just
well, the thing about it is just like, what PC player waited for this game to even come to PC?
Yeah, like
you can play in 60 frames per second. You can play in 4K. That's only those 2 features, really. I'm like, everybody already played it on the other consoles.
If you didn't have a 360 or PS3 or a Wii U, like this is what you're going to spend your money. This is what finally going to put you over the edge for Bayonetta. No offense, Bayonetta is a great game, but like,
why not play it on Wii U and play it with the Nintendo costumes and get like more content?
Yeah,
like you just made the game, bro. You just made the game faster and look prettier.
Yeah, well,
so at first I 4K.
At first, I thought it was going to be a PC port of Bayonetta 2 because, like, I don't know. I just feel like that would have made more sense than Bayonetta 1. And, like, I know Nintendo has the publishing right. Which I did look into. They still have the publishing rights to 2. Like, their copyright is on 2, so it cannot be published anywhere else, which would make Bayonetta 3 an even more likely scenario to be a Switch exclusive. But man, I just want another Bayonetta.
After Bayonetta 2 got the more recognition and how great that they said they were with Nintendo, yeah. If I like I said, I was talking about this earlier. Just like if Bayonetta 3 did get announced and it went to the other platforms besides Switch, that's kind of I feel like that's kind of a stab in the back, and I think 3 is not going to live up to I think 3 is not going to live up to 2 or live up to the greatness of 2. And secondly, I think Platinum probably wouldn't even bring 3 to Microsoft due to the fact of the scale bound cancel. I think they would bring it to PS4.
Yeah, I mean, here's the thing. I feel like even if it didn't come to Switch, I just feel like putting Bayonetta at this point as a multi-platform game, the worst decision Sega could make right now. And I feel like if Nintendo put the money and stuff behind it, like I feel like there would be a certain attention to detail to that game that wouldn't be somewhere else. Like if it was somewhere else, because like Bayonetta 1 was good, but I feel like the financial support of Nintendo and them looking over the shoulder of Platinum and Sega to where it was, and it ended up being a top 5 game on Wii U easy.
It literally took over 2014 when it came out. Like it was the game that you had to get. like, and people, and what ended up happening is that people who were mad because when Nintendo paid for it and it was only coming to the Wii U exclusive, that whole E3 debacle stuff, you they were mad because of that, so they decided not to buy the game. Well, the people who did buy the game, Platinum and Nintendo saw the praise that they got. They seen the sales that they got for the DLC for Bayonetta herself for Smash. So that kind of tells you something on how important Bayonetta is.
I still think Bayonetta 3 is going to be announced, and it's going to be bundled with the Bayonetta amiibo. I still think
that would be nice.
I still think that's coming because they still owe us what, Cloud, Bayonetta, and Corrin, right? For this, like that's
yes.
what they're still working on, right?
Yes.
So I still feel like the characters are coming, and I feel like they're going to be packed in. I feel like Corrin and Cloud will probably be packed in at some point with the Switch, and Bayonetta will come at some point with a Bayonetta 2 port or Bayonetta 3 announcement.
Yeah, because I know Cloud was going to be up to Square Enix when they decide to release that. Cause they had to make their own for it to be released. So,
yeah.
it
was a little bit disappointing.
And in fact, a lot of people on the internet was disappointed about the announcement. They were just like, they was like, unsurprisingly, Bayonetta's coming to PC. And people thought about it because of that little April Fool's joke that they had, bringing it, that 8-bit Bayonetta, bringing it to Steam and stuff. So the announcement, it's not surprising that it was a PC port of Bayonetta 1. Which I guess that's fine, but I'm just like, if you already own Bayonetta and if you own the Wii U that came bundled with the game, for the first run of that game, you already played it, and so
I feel like overall PC gaming is such a different breed of gamer than we are as like Nintendo fans, or even like PlayStation and Xbox. I don't feel like Bayonetta is the game that they're looking for. No, because I'm not a gamer at all. But I feel like games they like are Overwatch, Dota, League of Legends, and then indie games like Rust or Minecraft or Stardew Valley, like those types of games. I feel like those are the games that PC gamers want. I don't know how well Nier did on PC, but I don't feel like that these are the games that PC gamers are looking for, which is why these games didn't come to PC in the first place.
Well, I know Bayonetta, they said it shot to the charts on Steam in the UK. So it's doing good in the UK, but here, who knows? If people are probably, and plus with Overwatch, with stuff being announced for that in the updates, people are probably still playing Overwatch on PC and console, but mostly PC. So this announcement, I don't know what it's going to do for Sega. I think they should have, hopefully they're working on 3. If not, they started in the planning stages. Because since Nier is done, what is Platinum going to do now? I know Kamiya, he got a game in the works, but we don't know what that is. But we shall see at E3. We should see in the future if Bayonetta 3 even comes to the Switch. I mean,
I feel like a third one is coming. Maybe not this year. Maybe it'll be an announcement next year. I don't know. I mean, all of Platinum's major projects are out right now. Like, Scalebound's canceled, so they're not working on that. Nier Automata's out already. So, I think they do a new project, and we know that them and Nintendo are working on something, but we don't know what it is. So we'll see.
Mm-hmm.
I think it's Bayonetta. I don't see it being a Mad World sequel, but never know. You never know. So, all right, let's get into some cool news. Some indie games are getting physical releases, which is super exciting.
What?
What? Are you excited, Ed?
Yes, I'm super excited.
Flipping Death, which is, it looks like I don't really know how to describe it. It looks like
venture platformer.
I mean, it's a platformer, but the design is like these hand-drawn, creepy, like it almost looks like stop motion-y type animation, kind of like what's that one game?
Clay Fighter?
No, it looks like, remember Death Jr. on PSP?
Yes.
Kind of vibe mixed with a 2D Psychonauts vibe.
Yeah.
That's
it's
the art style.
That's
not what it's going to play like, but I mean, that's just what the art style reminds me of.
I mean, it has a fluid flow to it when you see it in motion.
The studio, Zoink, the last couple games take it to the and Zombie Vikings, which is coming to Switch as well as a digital download.
Okay.
Flipping Death is coming to Switch. It's getting a physical title. I'm kind of excited because this game looks super cool. It looks like it's trying to do something a little bit different in terms of art direction. Looks super trippy. It's cool, and I'm glad that the indies are taking that chance to put their games out physically on Switch.
Right, because that helps with broadening and making your library look better. Because I know a lot of people who are into cartridges now, like getting back into it, they kind of want to get the most cartridges that they can, because if it sells out, of course you'll have digital, but there's something about having that physical cart with you, without worrying it having to break or scratch or anything. It's going to be the thing when people go on trips and everything.
Yes. So it's cool. And then another sort of indie title that's getting I think we touched on this last week, but Cave Story Plus is getting a physical release, which is super cool. That art, the cover art for that physical copy looks awesome, and that game's only $20 physically, so that's cool. Sometimes like Isaac was more on the expensive side for a physical copy of an indie game, $40, but I mean that and you can interchange. The box art has the flip cover on it, plus it comes with the Zelda inspired instruction booklet, which is super cool. It was pretty worth it.
It makes it worth the investment of getting the physical copy.
Yeah. So that's super exciting that these two games are getting physical copies. I am as a physical copy now on Switch, just because I think, you see a huge game like Zelda, and you see the Nintendo games coming like Mario Kart and Splatoon. And like the other day, I just laid two major games right now on Switch are The Legend of Zelda and Lego City Undercover. Like those are the two major AAA games on Switch right now, besides 1-2 Switch, but I don't really count that as a game. But and then I laid the indie games down. Yeah, I know, right? Well, I laid the Binding of Isaac next to Has-Been Heroes, next to Bomberman, and all those games, like, just fun. Like, it just looks cool when they're all together like that. And it's like, I feel like Nintendo's doing a great job of catering to these indies, which another rumored game getting a physical copy is SteamWorld Dig 2, which would be huge for Nintendo, and it's only going to get a physical copy on Switch, which would be huge because those games are like, I don't really care for the SteamWorld games, but that second game looks like it's doing the Super Metroid of Metroid compared to SteamWorld Dig. Like, it looks crisp, it looks pretty, it looks polished. Like, I'm gonna check it out, and if it gets a physical copy, you can sign me up for that. Just sign me up.
And I think with the physical release, you know, people don't have to worry about that data, you know, taking up their micro SD cards and stuff. It's good that, because it's going to expand the library of, you know, people saying, well, there's no games to play. Be like, there's a ton of them. Not only do you got first and third party, you got indie games, and most of the indie games are on cartridge physical release. People are going to be like, oh yeah, let me get that physical release, because you know, I mean, digital sales are important and everything, but these physical release, that's what people are gonna want for the Switch. They're gonna want that. I don't have to worry about a game installing. I could just literally pop the cartridge in and play it and go about my day.
Yeah.
Because what's gonna happen if
a big game that's going to get a retail copy is the Zelda Wind Waker limited run game with Nintendo and all these indie games to produce big copies of physical games. So Ocean
Horn.
That's exciting.
Yeah. So I think even with, since Rhyme is going to be on physical, I think with the price difference, I think people could forgive it now, because everybody gonna be like, I hope, you know, Ukulele, when that comes up, that'd be $40, because that's a big game. People are gonna pick that one up. So, you know, as long as people are willing to pay the money for it, even if it's $10 more, to get the physical release, if it's worth it, I'll be happy.
I think it's worth it. All right. I mean, I told you about that poll in the Nintendo groups that I'm in on Facebook, and it's like everybody's like, I want to play ukulele, but what should I do? And an overwhelming amount of votes were wait for the Switch copy. Like, it said buy PS4 version, 0 votes. Buy Xbox One version, 3 votes. Buy Xbox One version now and trade it for Switch version later, 6 votes. And then wait for almost. So, I mean, clearly people want these games on Switch. And like the Switch is having that mobile factor. I don't mean to make it sound like a cell phone game, because like these games are not cell phone games, but like it's having that mobile factor where, like, you know, some of these games I wouldn't be checking out on other platforms, but if it comes to Switch, it's like, yeah, I'll check that out on Switch. Like, it just has that. I don't know. I just, you know, I want to support these games on Switch, and I want to see more of these games come to Switch in physical form. But like, another thing is, like, I don't know if I would have ever picked up Snake Pass if I didn't think that it like felt like a Nintendo game, you know?
Right.
So I don't know. I'm excited for these physical copies. They're
and I think
they're important for me, at least.
And I think the industry have to look at it at this. If you are seeing people willing to buy your game on the Switch and you're not making sales on the other platforms, maybe try bringing it to Switch. Maybe even if you do it digital, do that. That's completely fine. But people saying I would love to play this game on my Switch, and let's say you bring it digitally and you make money off the digital copies, and that recoups some of your losses that's covering the other two consoles. If you make enough and be like, okay, for a limited run, we're gonna put out the physical version. I think people will snag that up.
Yeah, I mean, I think they will too. You know, a lot of people are seeing excitement around this system, and people just want to be a part of it. You know, it's awesome. I'm still seeing people on a Switch on and like posting pictures and seeing how excited people are, and it's an exciting time to be a Nintendo fan.
Yes. Now, if we could just get more Switches in the store, we'll be good to go.
Yeah. I mean, there's every time someone gets them in, they're selling. So that's good.
They're gone.
It's good. Yeah. That's good. That is good because, like, after that first like couple weeks, you could find Wii U's everywhere.
Yes.
This is definitely more of a Wii GameCube situation where you couldn't find one for the first 8 weeks, you know, a Wii U situation, which is good.
And this to me personally, this is scary for Microsoft and Sony, because that speaks on what are you guys going to do to get your systems to sell more. Of course, we know with Scorpio, they're going to pull out Crackdown 3, probably some more games. But what is Sony going to do to get the PS4 Pro out and VR out so people could go out and buy it? Because those two systems are slowed down. They're the powerhouses that the third party are supporting, but no one is really buying their games and no one's really buying their systems. Where I think even if stores got filled with, let's say, 70 copies of Switches of that all filled in, I think all 70 would sell out.
Yeah. Yeah.
You know, and this is to me personally, this is big business for indie games, big business for definitely for Scan 2D, with who does the memory cards for a lot of things. Like, this is good business for them, because we were going to, like, there was a sale for Amazon, I think maybe 64 gigabytes, like for 30 or 40 some dollars, or it's something that was really cheap, and they were just like, for those Switch owners, here's a good mini micro SD card that's on sale. And I don't know how well it sold or anything, but it was just like, oh, if I had a Switch and I seen that sale, I would have brought that, because that's a good deal for 64 gigabytes.
Mm-hmm. Going back to what you were saying, like about Nintendo or Sony and Microsoft being in trouble because of Switch, I don't know if it's necessarily going to be that, but I feel like, and this is what I said about the Wii and why it was so successful, and the DS is like, people want to play their games on Xbox and PlayStation, and then the console is their secondary console. And this time around, I feel like that's more true than ever, where if Nintendo can just be the second console, Nintendo will become the best of the consoles, because they will sell more for being the second console, while PlayStation and Xbox fight it out. Nintendo sneaks in and becomes the best selling of the three.
Well, this is the thing. It looks like Switch is becoming the #1 console, and then Microsoft and Sony are falling to the wayside, because you have these a lot of major titles come out, but minimum people are talking about. Minimum people probably have brought up. I mean, I know they did good numbers, but people are still talking about Switch. People are still talking about Zelda. There's a flow of discussion about Nintendo. Even if we wasn't talking about Nintendo on the podcast, there's still, if you look on Twitter and probably in other group of people, they're still talking about Nintendo. What is Sony and Microsoft? What games on their systems are being talked about? Yeah, maybe Yakuza, maybe Mass Effect, Andromeda with it, with the weird facing thing and all that, but Horizon is probably people's, probably backlog, so people gonna get into that. Persona 5 maybe is the hottest right now, but that's very still a niche title, and even though it's sold well, um, not many people are still talking about it, and they'll probably talk more about the controversy than the game itself. I mean, there's pictures out there that people are posting, but you know, that streamer controversy made that game, and Take Your Heart edition being sold out made that discussion. But still right now people are just like, I just started Zelda, or I'm playing Zelda, I got these shrines, I got these, like that discussion is still going on, and it's been a month. And
Yeah,
so
and it's weird
that
because like
discussion,
people were like playing Horizon that first week it came out, and like
Mhm.
that next weekend people were like, oh, spoiler cast, or what did you do here? Like they were talking spoilers. It's 5 weeks out from Zelda's launch, and people are still afraid to tell people things about the game because of spoilers. And that
yeah,
the atmosphere around what Zelda has created, crazy. It's just so crazy.
yeah. And you don't get that
Like,
from any other game that's out now.
yeah, and that makes me that right there makes me excited for Mario Odyssey and Xenoblade 2. Like these games are going to be just, I feel like this is going to be one of the biggest Mario games we've ever gotten, just based on like, Zelda changes everything
Yes.
out. Like, how is this going to change Xenoblade? Because, helped create that open world. How does this change that? How does the Mario team take what, I know Mario Odyssey is, all but confirmed to be done. Like, it's ready to go, but they wanted to space it out and have a holiday game. But like,
Yeah.
how did the influences of Zelda influence what's happening in Mario? Like, and how does that influence the next Fire Emblem game? Like, I want to know, because Zelda is going to influence these franchises significantly in Nintendo's development.
Yes.
How does this influence the development of Metroid when it comes out? Like,
I think the major influence is going to be, don't spoil the game for me. It's going to really make people want to experience the game for themselves, and they want to talk about the experience, but they can't until most people finish it and stuff. And that anticipation that be like, oh, Corey, I want to tell you what I just found. And I know you are just going to probably be like, dude, I found this secret. And we want to tell each other, but we can't because we probably don't want to spoil it or anything. And that's major. That really is major, where who people who like to spoil stuff just to spoil it, um, you've never really seen that in video games. And
yeah,
Zelda being a title that people don't want you spoiling the story points or saying where you got this and how you do it, that's kind of major, and that's kind of big. So I think that's going to be a part of, if I want to know what's going in the game, and I don't want it to be spoiled, I need to go and buy me a copy, or for some people rent or borrow, but owning your own copy so you could put in your own time to figure out what's going on, and seeing what you can see to discuss with other people, is to be like, oh, okay, now I know why they don't want to spoil this game. Because when the Zelda DLC hit this holiday, it's gonna go back to, don't spoil this game for me because I want to know what the story point is.
mm-hmm.
And that's going to be major. people could spoil Horizon or Mass Effect and be like, since it's not really worth it, I'm gonna just say what it is, so you can save your money, or if you're still interested, this is what it's going to lead up to. Now, the experience is going to be different, but that same spoiler is still going to be there.
Yeah.
So,
yeah,
Mario Odyssey, I want to play that so bad.
So it's just so good. I'm gonna be so sad when I'm done. Like, I'm just gonna be really sad when I'm done. I mean, like, I'm done. I'm just doing the Koroks because I'm stupid. But man, that game is just so good. It's so good.
And people are, and that's why people are still going back to that game, because and a lot of people just like, I did everything or most of everything. I really don't have no side quests. So people should, some people feel like it's hard now going to other games because all I want to do is go back to Zelda and just be in that world. Like, people are feeling that, and you normally do not feel that for a game. Like from only game I could really, I mean, I feel it for a lot of games, but definitely, like we talked about Bayonetta 2, it was hard for me to go to other games. Even with Xenoblade Chronicles X, it was hard for me to go to other games because these games are so good that it took me, I literally had to stop playing video games in order to break away for wanting to play that game. Like, even when I finished Bayonetta 2, I was playing the whole game on all difficulties. Xenoblade Chronicles X, I was coming home and playing that, and doing all these quests and stuff, and I had to stop because I'm just like, I got 5 other games that I just brought that I need to get to, but Xenoblade is taking up all my time, and I had to break myself away to even get into those 5 games.
Yeah.
And that's how hooked and addictive, and how great that design of that game. Like, when a game puts you in like that, breaking away from that game is really hard.
Yeah. Yeah, man, this that's all I can do. That's all I can do. But let's move ahead, since we went off on another tangent. We're gonna swerve back onto the road so we can swerve back off. Speaking of physical copies,
yes.
Sega said they would love to do a Sonic Mania physical release for Switch. I don't know if that's going to happen, but I mean, I feel like that game, out of all of these games, is one that should get a physical copy. But
Sonic fans are still going by it.
Yeah, so, but like, I think a lot of the fans that want like some sort of special edition of this game have pre-ordered the Sonic Mania Collector's Edition with Sonic standing on a Genesis, that statue, all that kind of stuff. So, well, I don't know. I would like a physical.
It's not on a Nintendo platform. Like, people who buy the Sonic games, if it comes to a Nintendo platform, they'll buy it on there. Because the DS, the one that was on DS, and even Sonic Boom, Fire Ice on 3DS still. So, like, people who are Sonic fans, I mean, they'll support Sonic on any platform that it comes out on and defend it. But normally, if it's on a Nintendo platform, they'll go and buy it.
Yeah. So that'd be cool if that game got a physical release. I really want one, but we'll find out. We'll see, I guess. And one last little news story, which we talked about in our chat earlier. Square Enix really, really, really wants to port old games to the Switch. What do you feel about that?
That was major. That literally is major, because they were just like, they're gonna sidestep. They're ready to sidestep Xbox One to put games on Switch. And that's
and
huge.
Here are some of the titles mentioned in the article, and like, I don't know, it just said titles that could make their way to Switch. Final Fantasy series, the Kingdom Hearts series, Deus Ex, Hitman, and others. Really love a Rise of the Tomb Raider port to this thing, especially because a lot of the Western developed games from like Crystal Dynamics and Eidos Montreal are done on Unreal. And like Hitman and Kingdom Hearts is definitely the new ones are definitely on Unreal. Like they've come out and said they are developing on Unreal. I would love to see Tomb Raider, like even if it's not Rise of the Tomb Raider, I would love to see that rumored Shadows of the Tomb Raider come to this. Would like to
see that.
And I think the perfect games for on the go would be Hitman Go and Lara Croft Go. I didn't play Deus Ex Go yet. I don't know if that's any good or not, but like those games by themselves, if you sold them for $9.99 on the eShop, good.
Or even $14.99. Like, you know,
well,
like
they're $9.99 on PlayStation Network and Xbox Live. I don't know if they would want to go over.
I think that. If it's like a complete package, like it's DLC added on, and like whatever then it comes, well, because I don't know if those games got DLC, so that's why I said $14.99. I'm thinking like a complete package of content, like they added all the content for it. But if there's no content on it and they could offer it for $9.99, yeah. If they could do a physical version for $20, I would do that and buy that.
Mm-hmm. And like, especially for Rise of the Tomb Raider, I don't know if it would be that hard to port because they did make an Xbox 360 version of that game.
Yes,
and that is true. That game, my cousin played it on Xbox 360 and said it was phenomenal, and he turned around and bought it on Xbox One when he got one. He said that game, the only difference was a slight graphical degradation. It ran fine. It looked great. Like it looked like the Xbox 360 version of Tomb Raider. Like, I mean, and that game looked beautiful in itself. So like that's something like that could come.
I literally would do this. Rise of Tomb Raider is $60. For those who pre-order it, we'll get we get Tomb Raider reboot for free as a digital copy.
Yeah.
I would do that.
Or you could just sell a bundle for $60, like a cart, 2 carts and one thing. Like I mean, they've made their money back on that at this point. So producing, I mean, especially the first game, like they've made their money back. I mean, they would have to cover like porting costs and stuff. But if you sold both of those games in one package for Switch for $60,
not even $60, I would pay $70. I literally would pay $70 for both cards.
Yeah, I mean, I would too. I love those games. Those 2 games, and like those 2 games are 2/5 of the reason why I own a PlayStation 4 and an Xbox One. Yeah. Like those games are just, those games are so good. If you have an Xbox One and PS4, games, like I still think Rise of Tomb Raider is the best game on Xbox One.
I have Tomb Raider and Rise of Tomb Raider on Xbox One. I have Tomb Raider on PS3 and Rise of the Tomb Raider on PS4. Hey, that Black Friday deal for $20, I was not about to pass up.
Well, the PS4 version, what like the packaging that came in itself was awesome because it came with that 20 years of Tomb Raider book and everything. And I would, gosh, now that's all I want is Tomb Raider on Switch.
Yeah, come on, through Square Enix. Bring on that good old Tomb Raider to us. Because I literally would do that. And if they said the collectors, let's say Shadow of the Tomb was the next game and they got announced with Switch, and they did a collection that you get all 3 games for $100. I would probably be at like right at GameStop. I believe any podcast that I'm on be at GameStop to pre-order.
Yeah, I mean, yeah, yeah.
just put on NGR radio on the page. Power Block will be started in about 30 minutes. The two
Yeah.
hosts are going to GameStop to pre-order the game, even though E3 is still going. They'd be like, "Oop, that's my cue to go."
I'm pretty sure the only reason why I own my Xbox One and PS4 at this point, Tomb Raider, Destiny, Gears of War 4, and I think that's it. I think those are the only reasons why I own my other consoles.
Well, I got multiple games. I got multiple games for Xbox One and PS4. So,
I mean, like, yeah, I mean, like, I like all the other games I have on those consoles, but like
those the ones that you played most.
I'm just saying, like, without those other games, whereas those games I just listed off are games that like I just need to play. Like those are just so like I could probably live without Halo at this point, but I still enjoy the campaigns enough. I could probably live without The Witcher, but it was a solid game. I could probably live without Doom and Wolfenstein, but those games are awesome. Like, you know what I'm saying? Like, I could live without playing those and be just fine.
Yeah, just.
You know? But man, can't live without Zelda. Ah,
yes,
man. But anyways, back to our topic.
and
What other Square games would you like to see on this console? Like for real, old or new? Like,
they need, and I got to reiterate this, and they got to bring that Mana collection to the West. They can. Hey, if you need crowd, I would help Kickstarter to get 8-4 play to to literally, or yeah, 8-4 play to literally localize Secret of Mana 3. I, like I would put in $20 or more if needed to be like, well, we need, if you guys really want this, we'll be able to do it, but we need help with the localization for this company, which you guys have. I would. They have to bring that game here. Deus Ex Mankind Divided. I have an Xbox One. I need to start it up. I have to play it first to see if it should come to Switch.
I don't know if
I kind of would want a Switch Bravely Default.
Well, I mean, that's what Octopath Traveler is basically, right? Isn't that just Bravely? Isn't that team? Isn't that the Bravely Default team?
I think so. But
I wouldn't be surprised if that ended up being a game. Honestly, like I mean, Project Octopath Traveler is just a code name, right?
Yeah, but I mean, the regular Bravely Default sold 1 million copies and actually put Square Enix in the black to the point where they got surprised. They were just like, we didn't think this game would do this much. You changed the battle system that everybody enjoys. You already put like haste on everybody to make these battles go quicker, and the risk reward system actually works in your favor. Like, and then you got Street Pass. Yeah, people want this game. Yeah, when people seen it and heard the music, they was like, we're buying this game. Why would you not be surprised? You put a demo out for people to try it to understand it. And the demo, so people aren't getting the game.
Right. Okay. Sorry to interrupt. But back to our first topic. Of they're getting physical copies. Remember that bullet hell game that came to Vita, Cinemora, where you were like this like bull in an airplane, and you were shooting giant aliens and robots. That game is coming to Switch, and it's getting a physical copy.
What?
Yeah.
Breaking news! Wow.
Yeah, that was the other game I wanted to throw in there, but I couldn't remember what it was.
When did they
So
announce it?
basically, yeah, let's see. This morning it was announced.
Oh
Uh,
wow.
so basically, it's if you don't know, it's a stylish bullet hell shooter from Grasshopper Manufacturer. Uh,
Oh, okay.
it's a arcade shooter. You're like this bull who's dealing with like personal issues, and this is like the manifestation of his mental illness is this bullet hell shooter. So um, yeah, and it came to PS3 and Vita like in 2011, I want to say, and they're making a special edition for Switch, and it's getting a bunch of new levels and a bunch of new weapon combinations. Yeah, so that was the other game. So sorry to just yell that out in the middle of this, but yeah.
No, that's breaking news.
So, but back to Square. Sorry, Bravely Default. I would love to see those games get ported to Switch, though. By the way, the 3DS ones.
Chronicles. Oh yeah, maybe the Crystal Chronicle games might come to Switch.
I mean, I could see a new Crystal Chronicles, like 2-player one that required you to use the Joy-Con. Trying to do something like that.
Sleeping Dogs.
I can see them doing that. I think that would be a good fit, especially like it's not a crazy. It's like, I mean, it's GTA clone, but it's not GTA, so I don't think Nintendo would have a problem putting that on, because I feel like Nintendo's very cautious about what games, and I feel like game they want on their platform just based on like their company values and stuff. But I feel like Sleeping Dogs could be a definite contender to be ported over.
Like I would do it so they could recoup some money for that. Like I charge $30 for it for a cartridge version. Like I would do it.
Yeah. I mean, I basically want every game on Switch now. Like that's like it's. I know it sounds like I'm being like a super fanboy, but like in all honesty, if I can just pick up the console and take it with me into the living room and play it, or in the car and play it, or on a plane somewhere and then plug it into my TV, like if I could do that with like Destiny or Gears of War or Halo or Tomb Raider, like that, this device has like me to play more game. Well, it's going to allow me to play more games after I finish Zelda and experience more different games than I usually do. Like, it's going to allow me to spend more time with games that I love, of how convenient the system is. You can talk power all you want with the PS4 Pro and Scorpio. Like, I don't care. Like, yeah, that's gonna some people are gonna care about all of that, and they're gonna want to have all of that, and that's fine. But for someone who has like a job and responsibilities and is trying to spend time with my wife and stuff and is just busy, like the Switch is perfect. It's a perfect device, and like and it's even like the 3DS is a perfect device for me too. Like I like that handheld factor, except for like the Switch is just a really, really super nice 3DS that I can plug into my TV.
Oh wow. Zelda Breath of the Wild update out now, version 1.1.2.
Oh really?
Yep. Update Nintendo's this is from Nintendo Everything. Update Nintendo's official statement is the same as the last patch. Adjustments have been made to make for a more pleasant gaming experience. original. Following the new update release at the end of March, another new patch has been distributed for The Legend of Zelda Breath of the Wild. Players can download version 1.1.2 right now. And as of now, patch notes for today's downloads are not yet available. We'll keep an eye on something official from Nintendo. But yeah, that is out right now. So people who are reading or hearing this, if you are just didn't get a chance to play Zelda today, or would you get the game? Let's say you maybe got it today and you're installing it for Wii U or for Switch, the update is available now.
Crazy. I'm downloading the update right now. I want to see what it's
I
like.
ain't gonna do that. Yeah, I'm going to do it after the podcast.
Yeah. Well, that's kind of all the news and stuff. Continue the show. Do we want to because okay, so our big thing was we were gonna do we did kind of do E3 predictions a couple weeks ago, just off the wall E3.
Mm-hmm.
Do we want to do that, or do we want to save that for the second show this week?
We're going to say that for the second show because
because the Direct is tomorrow.
Yes, we have a Nintendo Direct coming in that's going to be focusing on Switch and 3DS. Primary focus is going to be on Splatoon 2 and for ARMS. So we are going to try to get a show out for you guys for that. I'm probably going to be super busy because not only do I have a lot of recording to do that night, just getting notes and stuff ready to see what they announce. That's going to be literally amazing.
Yeah. Okay. So, E3 predictions Thursday.
Thursday.
Yes. Tonight we will have a video going up on our YouTube channel on NGR Radio for NGR Radio reacts to the Nintendo Direct, ARMS and Splatoon featured games for Switch, but they did say they're going to have 3DS and other Switch games there. Mm-hmm. So take a quick crack at what the other games could be. I think Fire Emblem's going to be there. I think that's a surefire thing. Fire Emblem Echoes, I think it's for sure.
Because next month it releases. And and probably Mario, and I think Mario Kart's going to be talked about since it comes out the end of the month.
Yeah, I think Mario Kart's a safe bet. I think Street Fighter 2 is a safe bet.
Yeah.
What else?
Maybe some indies.
Yeah. They're probably going to fill some time with indies. Do you think they're going to have any sort of just at the end, just as a, hey, look forward to E3. Here's a teaser. We'll see you in 6 weeks.
If they hit at a Earthbound or Mother 3 to Switch, I think the internet is going to crash.
Yeah.
Or maybe enough.
I don't know, man. I don't know.
What if Konami did a Metal Gear Solid Go?
Well, that's another thing. I was thinking, I was wondering if Konami would try to port Metal Gear 5 to Switch.
No, they wouldn't do it. I think Konami is moving away.
Well, they have the PS3 and the 360 versions, and
but I think they're ready to.
I think they could do it though. I think that they would try to make money. We have away from Metal Gear. They're putting out that survival game.
Yeah, I think at the survival, they're really trying to move out the Metal Gear game at the series, because on how successful Bomberman was for them, I think they're going to go into the route because they put that ad out that they're hiring people, and maybe like I said, maybe we'll get a new Castlevania or Contra or even Silent Hill. They're hiring people to work on some old classics, and if they come to the Switch and it does the numbers like Bomberman, I think the Konami regardless if you forgive or not, Konami is back in the video games to actually make entertainment.
Yeah.
And not just bet on one game to keep their business afloat. Besides the pachinkos and all that stuff, like for people who are my age who know that Konami built a history with a lot of NES games and arcade games that were making them popular and like kind of one of the four video games in the West. They kind of lost that spark once they put all their money or all their bets on Metal Gear. And so they gotta kind of they got their tail knocked down to the ground, and they feel like they gotta rebuild back the trust in gamers and bringing those games back to a Nintendo platform, whether they're small or big and stuff, reasonable price, but they still are fun. If they work and they're good, and it helps Konami get their recognition back, that would be Metal Gear Solid Go would be a nice game to play on Switch. Or even even a remake of the regular Metal Gear. I can see an HD version of the regular Metal Gear being redone, relocalized, and coming off for Switch.
Yeah, I could see it. I mean, there was that rumor for a long time that Twin Snakes is going to get redone. But I don't know. We'll see. We will see. This is something.
Yeah.
This is something we got to say for next episode. I feel like we could talk so much Nintendo that could take up like 5 episodes in one day. But episode Thursday, we need to do kind of early or later because I have a meeting at 2:00 that day. So we could either do it before then or after. I don't care. It's up to you. I just sync schedules that day. And then tomorrow we'll do if you're listening to this on Wednesday, we'll do the reacts, which will be a video on our YouTube page. And Ed and I have some things in the works for portion of ngrradio.com. So I'm really excited but we'll probably save that announcement for the next episode because we're going to have a little bit of a meeting after this episode. So I guess it's time to wrap up. Ed, where can we find you on the internet?
You can find you guys can find me on Twitter at @RetroCode, and you can hear my podcast, Optional Opinion, on SoundCloud, iTunes, Google Play, and the AnomousRadioNetwork.podbean.com. And you can also hear my other podcast, World 101, on Shouts Engine, World 101 podcast, I should say, on ShoutsEngine.com and on SoundCloud. I will be updating the SoundCloud version real soon.
Yeah, didn't you guys on World 101 just have Todd Happ on?
We're having him in 2 more weeks.
That's exciting. That's so exciting.
Yes.
I want to be there. I have so many questions for that man.
Yeah,
we should get him on this show at some point.
Yeah, we are doing a later episode. So because of Easter being Sunday, we're not going to be recording that Easter, but that following like Monday or Tuesday we're going to record for it. But the Tom Happ interview is happening on the 23rd. So guys, ladies, anyone, gamers, if you guys have questions for World 101 podcast, go to our page, World 101 podcast forum, and leave your questions there, and we'll ask you some questions about Axiom Verge and what's next and other things. You know, I have to ask them what's his favorite cereal and stuff like that, like the weird questions. You know.
Ask him if he's going to make the new Zelda game. The 2D Zelda game.
I'll ask him.
All right, you can find me at Corey Hudson in HD on Twitter. You can find me at Corey in HD on Instagram. You can find this show every week, sometimes twice a week. I'm trying to get back to that schedule on ngrradio.com, on our YouTube page, or on iTunes and Google Play. You can find all of our content on ngrradio.com. Ed and I are probably I think we're gonna start taking questions for this show too. So for some cool announcements from me and Ed, and join our Facebook group, facebook.com/group/NBR Radio Podcast. Do we want to open up the Paddle Block group again? I think we might.
Yeah, we might.
I think we might. It's a discussion. So thank you guys so much for watching or listening. Hope you're watching. Come subscribe to the YouTube show. And until we love you.
Yatta.